Alright, the Pahadi beast has descended from the mountains of Rudraprayag to put the road to UFC tournament on notice. Namaste UFC, this is Angad Bisht. There's been a bit of online chatter about Angad's opponent not being on his level, but you guys need to remember that John Dewell Manza had come in with an undefeated record of 6-0, right? And it's not just that, he was a champion in a smaller promotion in the Philippines and had faced relatively stiff competition. So in the eyes of the UFC, in the eyes of many, they thought he was ready for Angad, but clearly he wasn't, and basically got his ass kicked. Probably got his orbital bone broken as well. Incredible showing from Angad. Now, here's a real kicker, right? There's a possibility that Angad could actually face Kiru Singh Sahota in the finals of the tournament. Kiru Singh Sahota, as you guys remember, was Kantaraj Agasa's replacement. Because of Kantaraj's withdrawal from the tournament. And before that happens though, Angad's got to get by Dong Hoon Choi next. And Choi again won by unanimous decision against Jin Yu Shui, who again was making his second appearance at the Road to UFC tournament. Now Choi is 7-0, is a strong contender from Korea, was also a champion in Double G, another promotion in Korea as well. And it looks like Angad's going to have a tough fight with this, but if anything, Angad should be able to get this done. So on the other side of the bracket, we've got Kiru Singh Sahota, who's also got to get through another Filipino fighter called Ruel Panales, who was given a walk through to the next round, just like Anshul was in the first Road to UFC tournament. And if you guys remember, he was the guy that quit against Mohammad Farad at Brave. And it's not like he was doing very well before the fight either. I mean, before he quit either, he was getting pieced up on the feet. And again, while Kiru Singh Sahota won by a very razor close split decision against a very game Yin Shu Hai, he did show a well-rounded skill set, a willingness to engage, and ability to get back up on his feet. And if anything, I do see him getting through Panales in the next round. So hopefully, if Angad and Kiru win both of their fights, they can meet in the finals, and it'll be a really exciting test for Angad as well as Kiru. Now, on to the more disappointing aspects of the tournament. Kiran Singh made her Road to UFC Season 3 debut against Feng Shuaihan and basically got her ass handed to her. Now, she was 110 pounds, came in severely underweight, probably more suited to atom weight, but she took the opportunity, and a lot's been made about the selection of Kiran Singh and why she was represented at tournament. But again, guys, you have to remember that women's MMA, even internationally, is a very small talent pool. So there's already a smaller talent pool of fighters to choose from, and in India, it's even smaller than that. So look, she tried to give a good account of herself. The one problem with Kiran Singh is that throughout her career as a mixed martial arts fighter, she hasn't really improved as much or gained any new skills. If you all remember, back in the SFL, she tried the same headlock throw that she tried on Feng here. And again, it failed spectacularly there, and it failed spectacularly here when Feng picked her up, dropped her on her head, moved to mount, and just laid on punches until Kiran couldn't take anymore and the referee called the fight. It was a very disappointing performance, but it's also very clear that the UFC are pushing the girls from the UFC PI, right? The UFC have made a substantial investment into the PI in Shanghai, and it's very clear that the fighters who are training there are being pushed as the next batch of UFC fighters. We got the women's Chinese title fight with Wei Li Zhang and Xiao Shannan. So there's a lot of precedent for them to try to push these girls into the UFC. It's a bigger market for them. And Kiran Singh was basically brought in as cannon fodder. And it was very clear that she was cannon fodder. Up next, we move on to Priya Sharma, Catwoman, who, despite a tough matchup, did give a relatively decent showing of herself. The only problem she really had in the fight was that she could not put any meaningful offense together, right? She was trying to throw combos. She was trying her level best, but the Chinese girl, Dong Huan Shan, was actually very good. She was a wrestler or finisher. I think her record was 8-2. And if you look at her fight record, she's got a lot of finishes on the ground. So armbar, guillotine, rear naked chokes, things like that. So it was clear that if there was going to be an advantage, it was going to be on the ground. But credit to Priya and her team at Warriors Cove, who really picked up her takedown defense and prevented her from being put in any really bad situations by Dong. But in the end, what really happened was she didn't put any meaningful offense together, right? Which is why she got outpointed throughout 3 rounds. And sure, she did try in the last few seconds to really give it her all, but it was a little too late at that point, and so she lost by unanimous decision and was eliminated from the tournament. Now, as far as Indians are concerned in the UFC right now, if you remember, Anshul got through his road to UFC 1 tournament by finishing Jekka. And now we've got Angad and, I mean, I guess to a certain extent, Kiru. But the real interesting thing about season 3 is that in the finals of the road to UFC tournament is that Angad could face Kiru Singh Sahota. Now, the thing is, Kiru Singh Sahota took the place of Kanta Rajagasa, an Indian fighter, right? So, in technically, if everything plays out, we could have seen an all India final. But of course, now it's going to be India versus the UK. But if you really think about it, it could have been Angad versus Kantaraj, and that would have been an excellent fight. But so is this. Kiru Singh Sahota's got an incredible set of skills, good takedown defense. Angad's got good takedowns. He's got an excellent ground game, incredible ground and pound. So just the skills of these two guys are probably going to make an exciting, exciting fight, and we can't wait for that to happen. So thank you guys so much for joining us. For me, Andrew Liu, and the production team at Live MMA, see you guys next time.